Mic one, check one. Good evening, everybody. Mic two, check two, check. Mic two, check two. God bless you. God bless you over the mic. And Don K. Give less than a minute. Yeah.
You're on.
30 seconds.
Oh, hell, we got plenty.
Plenty of time.
My testicle spot. Here they are. Spectacles.
15.
You ready, Eldon?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Autosportradio.com 2018 show. I'm your host, Don Kay. We are live from McGilvery Speedway in the beautiful town of Speedway, Indiana. Tonight's show is presented, as always, by Honda and Honda HPD, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Verizon IndyCar Series, and SVRA. I have to mention, if anybody has the sad experiences that I have on a daily or weekly basis anyway, with your computer, I have a place to go. It's right here in town. See Jack at Computer Overdrive. They're on the northeast corner of Crawfordsville Road in Lyndhurst. Jack can fix anything. Trust me. Give him a call. Tell him your problem. He'll tell you what you need to do. Bring it in. They're the home of the free checkup. And he'll tell you what the problem is. We'll take to fix it. His number is 317-328-0766. And if you're into drones, want to find out more about them and drone racing and all that, you go back and see Mark in the back half, and you will be dazzled by what he can do. It may be the off season, but Trackside Online hasn't taken any time off. You want to find out what's going on in between, why the teams, new drivers, new people come on, you got to go to tracksideonline.com and subscribe. It's only about $24, $25, and you get everything that's going on, keep up to speed, and they also follow the Road to Indy program. Steve Wittig does a great job with that, so go to tracksideonline.com and subscribe now. And if your favorite doctor's appointment is a dentist, I can tell you a place to go that's phenomenal. You'll love it. The Indy Dental Group, Dr. Jack Miller and his wife, Dr. Liz Lewis, have got a phenomenal practice. They got 4 or 5 offices now. They cover the area. To get an appointment, just give them a call at 317-846-6125. That's the Indy Dental Group, 317-846-6125. And if you want to watch the great video that the Grant King people put together, you can go to YouTube channel and put in their Grant King Racers, and you'll see what's going on. All the videos, all the interviews they did, it was great. They got 50 hours of interviews, and if you subscribe, you'll be able to see everything that goes on. They change it from weekly, so check it out. Go to YouTube and put in Grant King Racers, and you will see some great interviews. It fell down a little bit because I'm in there somewhere, I think. So things went down. If you're coming into town for any reason, Christmas holidays, or just coming around, you want to take a tour of some race shops, you can do that. They have Grand King shop has a limousine. Take 6 to 8 people. You go to a couple of race shops and the museum, and give them a call. Their office number is 317-820-3595, or you can call Bill on his cell, 317-3710-290. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but if you haven't joined the IndyCar Nation, you need to, and we're going to help you with that because we may have a membership for 1 year pass out or to draw for. So it's a great organization. You got a lot of perks with it, and you have a good time when you go to the race. So check it out and stick around. We're going to have the lady in charge back in here. My first guest is a young man that I've been chasing around since he's become a dad. He doesn't sleep a lot. And strangely enough, when he is off, he wants to stay home and sleep. I don't get that, but that's what he says. He is the coordinator for IndyCar with the Indy Lights program, and he's also now the commander-in-chief of the safety team. Somebody I always enjoy talking to, and he's always got a lot of interesting things to say. So please welcome Mr. Jason Penix.
Thank you.
When you graduated from IU, was your hope that, gee, I want to get a job in racing?
I wanted to work with the Don K show, but you weren't accepting.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm very fussy. It says Carl and Eileen. Was that your goal, really? I mean, did you want to get into a sport and it happened to be racing, or did racing just happen to fall in line?
No, my family and I, we're big motorsports fans, specifically IndyCar. Loved it. As a kid, went to the Indy 500 every year, went to Mid-Ohio every year, and so I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life, was to follow these cars around. So a lot of hard work went into that, but it worked out.
You've been there. They haven't caught up with you. You've been here a little over 13 years. Of course, a moving target's hard to catch, so that helps out. What is it you specifically do between IndyCar and the Indy Lights program?
So with Indy Lights, IndyCar still owns Indy Lights. Anderson Promotion operates it, but IndyCar still owns it. So I work with IndyCar on the Indy Lights program, hand in hand with Dan Anderson, to manage that series. And then additionally to that, you touched on it, I manage the AMR safety team for IndyCar, our medical staff, and our security staff as well at each of the IndyCar events.
Now, I've looked at some of the classes that are offered at IU. I saw nothing in there about safety. How did you end up going from as the coordinator for the Indy Lights to the safety team? How did that happen?
I think we had some staff changes. Brian Barnhart had moved on, and that was part of his previous responsibilities that were his non-race director role, was to manage safety team and security and medical. So when he took off, they asked me if I would be interested in doing those things, and I jumped at the chance. Have nothing but wonderful things to say about the safety team and the job they do, as I know everyone else here does as well. And so I thought it would be a great opportunity to work with those guys, and so far so good. It's been wonderful.
What do they do in between? I mean, do they just sit around a bar between races and, hash out what happened the following? I mean, do they have training? Do they train when they get to the racetracks at various venues? Because I got to assume there's newbies that come locally that are part, and they got to know what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's off-season training that goes into training the team itself here in Indy. Additionally to that, every venue that we go to, every track, we work with local track safety guys. So we kind of go through a curriculum with them prior to the race weekend, go through best practices on how to extricate drivers and clean up crash scenes and all of those things. And so we try to share as much knowledge with them as we can, and then obviously work together for the race weekend in hopes that it all comes out okay.
If I remember, I heard something about that there's some doctors that they bring in that are, I don't know if they're interns or whatever they're doing during their residency, that they come as part of the team from time to time, or maybe every weekend from somewhere, wherever you happen to be. Is that what I heard? Is that correct?
From time to time, and we do have a staff doctor, Dr. Billows,
Yes.
Jeff Billows, that
Yes.
travels with us to every event. Additional to that, we also have occasionally some other doctors that are in residency that want to work with us, so they'll work with Jeff, and then they'll also work on the trucks with the safety team as well, so they can get that experience and learn a little bit about what we do.
Is what's his name? Mike. He used to be the head of ER down at. No. The doctor.
Dr. O?
Yeah. Is he still around?
He is around. He is not working with us this year.
Would
but
you fire
him? No. I think he just wanted to take a bit of a step back. But no, he obviously was a huge part of getting the team to where it's at today.
Oh, yes.
And Dr. Billows has really not skipped a beat at all and taken that and run with it as well. So we're blessed to have some amazing talent on that side of our business.
How about Dr. Scheid? Is he still around?
He is, yeah. He'll fix all your broken bones.
He's also been working on fixing an old car that he's been trying to restore for the last 5 years that I know of. Maybe it's done now, finally. But there's no question that the medical staff that's there is probably the best in the world.
Absolutely.
And they've got a mess to take, because the cars are designed in such a way that when they hit the wall, they're supposed to come apart. Well, that just leaves crap all over the place. You got to go pick it up.
Yeah, and those guys are so well trained in their roles. When they come to an accident scene, each guy knows exactly what he's supposed to do. And one guy goes to the car, another guy is specifically with the driver. Other guys are getting the brooms out and cleaning up the crash scene already. So it's a well-oiled machine, and it's like a ballet. I mean, they truly know everything that's going to happen, what their roles and what they need to do, and they're so in sync with each other. It's very impressive.
Now, when you have your training in January, I think it is, and you want to practice extraction from the car, I'm available.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind.
You'll have to put a little...
Our dummy is getting kind of old, so...
So am I. But figure, I'd have to squeeze to get in. You might have to put a little Vaseline on side so they can pull me out, but they'll strain their milk to get me out.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. The Indy Lights Series. Now, there was, I think... At one time, the Freedom 100 had 24 or some cars, something like that, and it's dwindled. But the competition hasn't. I mean, the drivers that have been competing the last 2 years are phenomenal. Obviously, the two best from this year are now stepped up. Is there replacements for them in the wings that are coming? Are there new teams coming? Are there old teams that had left to organize something else coming back?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously this year, 2018, was a difficult year for Indy Lights. It was a bit of a perfect storm. You had Juncos that expanded up to IndyCar, and it kind of set their Indy Lights program on hold a little bit, and they still had one car. Carlin did the same thing, and they parked their Indy Lights program for the year. So it was definitely a tough year for us. Looking ahead to 2019, I'm pleased to say I know for sure we'll see growth from where we were this year, no doubt. Is it going to be 18 or 20 cars? No, not yet. But we are going to make a sizable jump from where we were this year. So happy about that. There's interest from teams that were in previously and coming back. I think we'll see some announcements in the future on that. Additionally, the guys that we do have are either staying with the same number of cars or planning to expand their operations. And then BN Racing from Pro Mazda is making the jump up to Indy Lights. And then we're working hard on one more Pro Mazda team and one more IndyCar team about making the jump as well. So if it all comes together, it would look really great from where we were this year. But I am very confident in saying we will see some solid growth from where we were.
I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Juncos Racing, I think in the next year or two they'll have a plane out here for the plane race because they're running Cadillacs now in the sports car series. He's got that. He's got, I think, 2 Indy cars. He told me when I talked to him out at the test here a couple weeks ago that he's planning on running 4 cars in the Road to Indy program. So I don't know how he gets home at night. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
He's done an amazing job for sure, and he keeps expanding his business, as you touched on. And now we're seeing sports car efforts. He's gotten, kind of expanded from the open wheel ranks. So he does a tremendous job. The proof's there when you drive down Main Street and Speedway and you see the big shop that he has there. He's truly gone from, rags to riches, right? I mean, he came here with little in his pocket, and he's built this motorsports empire. So kudos to him.
And the interesting thing is you talk to the guys that work for him, they love him. They love working for him. And he doesn't push. As long as you get the job done. If you come in at 10 and work until midnight, he just do it. And it does. And of course, I work for a couple race teams, and one of the things that was important was when you have Carl working on a car and the driver couldn't win if everybody else fell out. He'd hit a tree. You don't want to, but when you got a driver can win, these guys want to bunch their hump to get him a car that he can win with. And obviously, Juncos is doing it.
Absolutely. That makes a huge difference.
And Bilardi has always looked good. They've got some good guys. The competition, you can't complain about it because maybe they only had 7 or 8 cars, but they were all together.
Yeah, absolutely. There was nothing wrong with the guys that were there for sure, as evidenced by the racing we saw this year. It's just that we need double the amount that we had, and so we're working hard to get back to that point.
Now, it was announced, and I had one of the new members of the Road to Indy program is coming into the USF 2000, and that's Dr. Jack Miller and Miller Vinatieri Racing. And he said he's going to have an announcement that's going to blow your socks off in the next couple of weeks. He said, nobody's going to believe this one. I don't know what it is. He wouldn't tell me.
I don't know either.
I'm assuming he does, but that's only an assumption on my part. And then, of course, an IndyCar veteran and former Lights champion, Jay Howard, has come out. He's going back on his karting and moving forward now. He told me he's going to run at least 2 and maybe 3 cars.
Yeah, we've seen some great expansion into USF 2000 from F4 and other series around the world. You touched on the 2 biggest teams that have joined us with Jack Miller and Jay Howard. I see nothing but amazing things for that series. As an entry-level program with USF 2000, It's affordable by racing standards, and kids can come in here and compete on IndyCar weekends, and truly there's a lot of value to that for them. So I really think we'll see anywhere from 25 to 30 cars consistently with that series in 2019.
And I see, I just forgot, Dale, he's moving his shop from Florida up
Dale
here.
Pelfrey, yeah.
Yeah, Pelfrey, and I guess he's moving to Indy Lights as well, I had seen.
Yeah, well, they have an Indy Lights program. They only ran a few races this
Yeah.
year, unfortunately. But he is moving the operation to Indianapolis in hopes of expanding on that and being full-time in the series. So we're doing everything we can to help them be on the grid, and we'd love nothing more than to see one or two of those bright yellow Pelfrey cars with us.
And I think he's the guy who provided a car when Sarah took her test with Mac McClellan pushing behind it. And I think he's involved in Mac's wants to bring a couple of guys from USAC into it. And I believe I think Dale's involved, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, Dale's been involved with a lot of different programs. You touched on Sarah's deal. In the past, he's worked with Sam Schmidt on their Indy 500 efforts. So Dale's been around a long time. He's been a great team owner, and we hope we get to keep him for many years to come.
Now, the new TV program, and I'm trying to get the head honcho that was involved in the negotiation, a former professional basketball player in Europe and an attorney, which makes me kind of nervous. But there's been a big change, and it's likely to be. In the past, you'd be able to go to racecontrol.indycar.com and watch the Road to Indy program. They would televise it, stream it. And I understand that might go away, and that bothers me immensely, because since they don't televise the first two live, and they do once in a while lights, but not that often, that seemed to me would kind of take the viewership away a little bit, and people get lost.
Well, we're still working through the details on that, and you're right, Stephen is the best person to talk to, but USF 2000 and Pro Mazda, there's no reason why they can't still be offered up for free on streaming, because they're not part of the NBC package. Indy Lights will be with NBC Gold, which is the online streaming platform. Having said that, I know their goal is to expand on what's been offered in the past. So previously on NBC Sports TV, they've shown one of the two Indy Lights races from the weekend tape delayed. What they're trying to do now is show live both races for the weekend. In addition to that, show the practices and qualifying for Indy Lights as well. So I get your point, being a little bit bummed that it's on streaming and it's behind a paywall now. However, it greatly expands the opportunity for coverage of the series, and in terms of a content standpoint, that all those sessions can be shown.
Well, I think that's hurt a little bit, and it seems to me, I've been to the racetracks where the lights and the Pro Mazda, so we'll run at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then the race IndyCars at 4 in the afternoon. Well, come on now. People are out in the parking lot drinking beer. They're not going to come in at 9 o'clock and watch a race and go back and drink more beer. Well, they might, but they don't too much. And I think somehow they need to get more exposure and expansion so that people are aware of what the USF 2000 is, and they can get together. And I guarantee you, when Jack Miller and Adam Vinatieri get done, you'll know who their drivers are, and I'm sure they'll make a lot of noise so that people pay attention. I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on some of the sometimes we have early start times for those support series, but that's a function of you go to these racetracks and they pile on 6 or 7 support series for a weekend, so it becomes a bit of a scheduling juggling act, if you will. But again, I think there's no reason why those two series can't be involved in similar streaming as they have in the past.
I hope so. Would you talk to Stephen about that? See if you can help me out.
I will work on that for you.
Well, I'm going to try and get him in here. He said, well, we talked about it last time. Yeah, but the contract wasn't signed. Now it is. And I'm also interested as who's going to be on the telecast, the broadcast team.
Yeah, I don't know how that's all played out just yet. So,
well, I know what I'd like to see, or not see, as the case may be, but nobody asked me. So, as an IU grad, what kind of what did you major in to get to this position?
I was a sports marketing and management major, and then minored in business with the Kelley School of Business. So very much business focused, which is funny now because I'm not really on the business side of our office or company anymore. But I guess it is in a standpoint of you are running a business still, right? It doesn't matter what part of it you're doing. So yeah, I was involved in that, and like I said earlier, loved motorsports and kept chasing it, and eventually made it.
Did you ever drive?
No, just some go-karting here and there, but nothing super competitively.
You didn't go out to Mark Dismore's place and run around once in a while?
Well, I've been out there to have some fun, but yeah.
Well, The bug didn't get you to drive.
No, I left that to my brother. He was the racer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he any good?
Yeah, he's a good karter. He won the Purdue Grand Prix twice.
Really?
And he's won a championship out at Dismore's place. So, yeah.
Need to get him in here.
Right.
Get him in a car.
He's the more famous of the two.
Dan Anderson, you have to take your hat off because the man is has a hugely successful business in construction. I think he's drywall. I forget what all he does, but it's quite successful. And every time I'll see him at a racetrack, I said, geez, you're here on a Thursday. I know my wife's not happy either. But he gives as much time, which is probably more than he would like to the racing as for his business. But if you get the right people to do that, and I think he's come in when he said, I'm going to change the cars, he did it. We're going to do this, he did it. We're going to do this kind of thing, and he's done it. He's done everything he said he's going to do. And I think the results show, because what the whole program is designed about is to work your way up and to get the IndyCar, and he's certainly done that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have nothing but fabulous things to say about Dan. He's done a tremendous job at all 3 levels of the Road to Indy program. We originally kind of sucked him back into this deal. He had an F2000 series back in the 90s that was really successful, and he got out of it once his son was done racing. And 2010, I guess it was, Tony George Jr. and myself kind of brought Dan back in to the fold and said, hey, what do you think about we launched this ladder system, and would you want to run F2000 again? So he was all on board with it, and the rest is history because we eventually got him to take on Pro Mazda, or Star Mazda at the time, and then Indy Lights too. So I don't know if he's smart or crazy, but it seems to be working out okay for him.
And his daughter is very much involved. Michelle
Yeah.
is involved. I've had her here once, some years back when they first got into it. And strangely enough, my wife was flying back from Florida one time, and she's sitting next to this gal, and they start talking. What do you do? I'm involved in racing. Oh, really? So is my honey. It's really. What's his name? Don. Oh, I was on his program. I said, geez, all the people on the plane
Small
sit next to
world.
her. She hit her a couple of times and said, pass that on because it wasn't that much fun, but it must not have been. She hadn't been back. But they're very busy, and he's got some good PR people. Diane Swindell does a phenomenal job for him. And Tammy runs around organizing, so he's got a good staff working for him.
They do, yeah. They're lean and mean, it's 3 series and not a huge group of folks, but to your point, they all work extremely hard, and you put all that together, and it's shown, it's made a difference, and it's really helped open wheel racing.
Well, I think Tony Perella for the SVRA has taken note because I think his staff is like 17 for what he does. Now he owns a Trans Am series, and they've just expanded and opened up. It just came out today. I think it was today they got a driving school now. So he has really taken vintage racing to the top, and everybody behind him, the guys, the classic racing times on the East Coast and Mike Lashmet at St. Louis have all followed him, and it's helped them build theirs because of the recognition. Oh, vintage racing, yeah, it's really doing well. What's next for you? I mean, they got you in with the safety team. As soon as Indy Lights gets done, you put on your safety hat and go with the team. Do you sit up in a suite with shrimp cocktail and so forth overseeing, or are you down in a truck?
During the IndyCar races, I'm in race control. I actually do what they call red hat, which you may have heard of the position, like in college football, professional football, they use a red hat. But I'm the liaison between television, so NBC for next year, and race control at the race. So if you're watching the race and they say, it's a drive-through penalty on Joseph Newgarden, I'm the one feeding them that information from race control. And then likewise, like when we had the incident in Pocono, they're relying on us up in race control to feed them as much as we can. So, it's an interesting role for sure. And I've learned a lot about television and how that all works.
Yeah, and these 2 guys are sitting up there or 3 guys trying to broadcast. They got somebody yapping in their ear all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be able to concentrate. I'm surprised Paul can concentrate and with people talking in his ear. But, Max Pappas and Ari Leyendyke are up there. I'm told that they make the decisions on penalties and that kind of thing. They make that. They say, yes, right.
Yeah, they hand out the discipline. So
So what does race director do? What does he just sit up there with you and having the shrimp cocktails?
Right, exactly. No, Kyle Novak's our race director. He does a fantastic job. This year was his first year.
Yeah.
He is the referee, if you will, in terms of keeping things flowing with the race. So if a caution needs to come out, he's the one throwing it. Likewise, if it's a road course event and a guy spins off, he makes the decision to stay green and we'll work it as a local yellow. In addition to that, obviously, if an incident does happen, he's working, talking to Max and Ari up there to figure out what that penalty is going to be. So it's a very busy job, but he does a fantastic job with it.
He doesn't live here.
He does not. He lives in Detroit, but he's here in town today, actually.
It doesn't do me any good. He was supposed to let me know when he's here.
I know. And I told him, I saw him earlier today. I said, I'm going to tell Don Kay to get you on his show.
I talked to him about it. He said, after the season, I'll be there. Well,
Good.
he didn't tell me. I had to go to Detroit to find him. But is he here from time to time?
From time to time, if we have meetings or things happening in the office, he'll come
Mention to him I'm looking for him.
down. Okay, we'll do.
And and then duck. He might say, never can tell. It's interesting the things that are going on. And one thing I like about, and this is my opinion, for the penalties, they didn't call as many mamby-pamby penalties as they have in the past. I mean, they'd penalize with a drive-through for literally nothing. I mean, it's a racing incident, so. And it was at Sonoma when I think Marco checked up a little bit and Alexander ran into him. I saw somebody on Facebook, they should have penalized Alexander. I don't know what, he ran into him. He could have continued. I said, really, with a right front flat tire and a broken wing, he was going to continue? That would have been kind of interesting. So I think they do, they do a good job as far as penalties. They're not constantly penalizing somebody for something that's kind of silly.
I agree.
Racing.
It's a great team up there. I will say with Kyle, he's been a little bit more of a let it go kind of thing and see what happens organically. And that seems to have worked really well. Now, certainly if there's a reason to have a yellow, he'll absolutely throw it. I'm not suggesting he wouldn't. But, he does give it a little bit more leeway and a little bit more racing action to see kind of how things play out rather than jump into a conclusion really quickly.
It's always interesting listening to Paul say, well, I did that. That's just a racing incident. Big deal.
Right. I mean, you could literally spend the whole race nitpicking and penalizing people. So you got to draw the line somewhere, and I think Kyle's done a good job of figuring out where that's at.
Yeah, well, that's good. What's next? Are you going to move up somewhere? Are you going to take over the director of competition for IndyCar? What?
Well, when you retire, I want this to be the Jason Penix show.
Oh.
So that's my first goal.
Howdy wasn't listening, or he'd be cheering too. He's been after me. He's wanted this forever, and our girl says, no. You need to just kick back and relax. And he did, and he fell out of his chair.
I think for what's next, I don't know. I love Indy Lights. I love the ladder system that we've built. I love IndyCar racing. So as long as I'm a part of that, that's the priority number one. I have a brand new daughter now. So I've got to think about that too, but I don't intend to change anything here in the near future.
Well, you've got one. Two?
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, yeah, you got to have a brother somewhere along the way.
I'm going to be too old for kids here pretty soon.
Well, it's interesting, and you will find with your job, when you do get home and get the time off, you will spend a lot of time with them, and it's fun to watch them because they grow up very quickly.
Yeah.
And they learn very quickly. I know I used to get in trouble with my wife because that was before the internet, way before the internet. And they went, come on, I want to watch television. No, go out and play, go out and do your thing, do your homework. When you're done, if it's not midnight, you can watch television.
Right.
And she used to yell at me. Whew. But now you see kids, all they got is this thing.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me today, I forget who I talked to, said they took a group of 7th graders or something and gave them a dial phone. Here's a number. They had no idea.
They didn't know
what
to do.
It's
it's amazing. And my daughter's only 7 weeks old, so she's not very old at all, obviously. But as I learn more about kids, people are telling me how kids these days will watch YouTube videos of other kids playing with toys. So it's crazy to me that that's where our society is now. But yeah, so I'm going to do my best to not let that happen.
Well, Captain Kangaroo's gone, so now what do? Watch YouTube.
Right.
I
know.
guess.
Gone are the days of Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers.
Yes. Terrible thing. But
I don't know how we ended up here about Mr. Rogers. This is a racing program.
I don't know. You have a young child. That's how we got here. Well, we congratulate you on your new arrival. I hope my other guest is here somewhere. Is she here yet? I don't know. I hope so. Boy, they got people there. Must be selling
I see
tickets.
her back there. She's back there.
Oh, is she?
She's waving.
Oh, there she is. Didn't have the hat on. No wonder I didn't see her. I look forward, as everybody does, to the expansion in the Lights series. I think what's happened at the end of this year, when the first and second, the champion and the runner-up, have moved up, I think that's great. I think they've teamed up with a good organization that can make them, because I know Brian has been part of a winning team in his mechanic career and knows racing. And Al Jr., what can you say about him?
Yeah.
Have him around to learn from. That's a pretty good deal.
Absolutely.
So now they got Robbie Green. What's Robbie doing? Is he?
I think
Have they got a
Robbie's-
television program that they're doing, and he's
I think Robbie's working on the commercial side, hunting for sponsorship for them.
really
So,
well. He did pretty well with the IMS production, so
Yeah.
it's a good spot for him.
for sure.
They got quite an organization. I think I wish them well and hope that the next year will prove superb. Well, I thank you for your time. I know
Thank you.
It's time to change diapers, so it's
Yeah,
time for you
probably
to
have
go
to give
home.
the kid a bath or something. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, try to be quiet when you get, so you don't wake your wife up. Or you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping us up with and anything exciting. Let me know. And if you see Kyle, tell him hello. I'm looking for you.
Absolutely, we'll do.
I did talk to him about it. He said he'd do it after the season. So
Great.
thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Look for the Indy Lights to grow, and here's the guy that's going to help them grow, Mr. Jason Penix. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. My next guest will be on the way up here momentarily. Martha, leave her alone. Yep. I want to remind you, this weekend is the Wabash Clash down at the Terre Haute Action Track, Friday and Saturday, 12th and 13th. The AMSOIL USAC Sprint Cars will be there, as well as the Craftsman World of Outlaws. So if you're out Friday and Saturday night, want to watch some great racing, get down to the action track. USAC Sprint Cars and the World of Outlaws. It's hard to believe, but Jingle Bells time isn't that far away. And when that season rolls around, they have at the State Fairgrounds what they call a Christmas Gift and Hobby Show. It just so happens I have some tickets. If anybody is interested, it's a little early. It's November 7th through the 11th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. I have a few tickets, and I'll have some going over the next few weeks. So if you're looking for a pair, come and see me. I'll be glad to give you one. Also, want to mention that Dave Gass, a lot of people know Nancy Gass and their son Mike Gass, who was a car driver. Her husband Dave had a heart attack yesterday, and he had one blocked artery and one pretty much blocked. They cleared one, and they're putting on either today or tomorrow a couple of stents. So we want to wish him well and hope that things work out. John Nagel has made a little bit of progress. He had a stroke a week ago, and he's been able yesterday, I guess, to sit up on the side of his bed for a few minutes. He's taking speech therapy, but as far as I know, they haven't started physical therapy yet. But he's slowly recovering, and certainly hope he makes a recovery quickly. How many went to the Red Bull Air Race? How was it? Was it pretty good? Yes, great. Some kid from America won. How'd that happen? Because he's a good pilot, I guess. That's amazing to watch. I went out there, and you can go in that the pylons they got. You can go inside the thing. It's a little windy, but you can go in there. It's quite interesting. They hit it within a couple of minutes. It's fixed. You don't even realize it's gone.
He's leading by 5 going into the last race.
Well, are you going? It's in Bolovia. Oh, you're not going.
Not unless I can find a sponsor.
All right. We'll work on that. Want to remind you that Sam Pierce Chevrolet is in Daleville, Indiana, and you need to come to the country to find out why the best prices are, in fact, in the country, and Daleville is the country. Sam Pierce is located on up north. You take I-69 north to exit 234 and go east 1 mile, and you'll see them. You can't miss them. You want to take a ride in an Indy car, you can get a ride in a two-seater. The Indy Racing Experience has the ride available, and you will love it, I guarantee you. So just give a call to 317-243-7171 and ask for Shonda, or you can go online to IndyRacingExperience.com, pick out a date that works for you, and in the promo box put SJ1, and you get a 50% discount. If it's time to get insurance for your home, your car, or your commercial property, VP Insurance is the place to go. They've got it all, and they've got the best prices going. You'll get better coverage for less money. Call Mike Pardee. His number is 317-248-0070. They're at 5004 West 16th Street in Speedway. That's Mike Pardee at VP Insurance, 317-248-0070. And if you're a vintage car buff and want to know where are some of the cars that I knew as a kid, well, you can find out by going to svra.com and subscribing to the Vintage Racing Quarterly. It's a fabulous magazine, and SVRA is really climbing. As I said, they just announced today that they have started a driving school. That should be very interesting, and get a hold of the magazine. You'll love it. And the last race of the year is November 1st to the 4th at COTA, the Circuit of the Americas. It's a 2018 Vintage National Championship, November 1st through the 4th. Check it out. Now, my next guest is a young lady that I've been chasing, not literally, because she could outrun me. I couldn't catch her on a bet. But she is a lady who organized and put together the IndyCar Nation, and it has grown immensely, and what they offer is phenomenal. In fact, there's a flag waiver here that's been contacted by a number of major series when they saw his action waving the flag. And I'm very happy she was able to make it. She's a golfer. Did you play golf today?
No, it's a beautiful day, though. I should have been out there. We're
I'm
trying to get
surprised.
IndyCar Nation renewals out the door today, so hopefully everybody got a fun email in their inbox this afternoon.
I got one that said, "Don't come back." Please welcome Riley McCarthy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How did you get? Now, if I'm not mistaken, you were like you're an event planner, right, in my opinion, my vocabulary, and you worked with professional golf.
I did. I worked for a state and regional golf association, the New York branch of the USGA, and in a similar capacity with fan engagement and special events and working with kids and golf fans. And then I moved into professional wrestling. And
Into what?
professional wrestling.
Did you work for, what's the guy's name that's, his dad was the big hero?
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Did you work with him?
Yep.
Is he as goofy as they say he is?
They are a wonderful, wonderful family, and they work really hard, and they are true show people. They know how to put on a show. So I learned a lot from them on how to plan some big, fun events and make a splash.
My mother used to watch that when she'd iron. She'd be ironing on a Saturday night watching wrestling. And I kept telling her, "Mom, this isn't." Oh, yes, it is. However, I used to live down in Florida in Clearwater, and I used to run into Hulk Hogan a lot. Mm-hmm. And he said, "If you don't think you get hurt doing this, you're crazy."
The physicality is very real.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of these guys that are hobbling around from injuries. You get slammed on the floor enough times or on your head, you hurt something.
That's for sure.
How did you get into this? How did you stumble in off the golf course into IndyCar racing? How'd that happen?
Well, my husband got transferred out here from New York City. He works for the NCAA in college basketball. And I started peeking around and got to know Ivan Cropper, the Senior Director of Marketing, and CJ O'Donnell. And we just have a wonderful team at IndyCar. And I was really excited to jump on board with them.
Are you the reason CJ's leaving? You worked him too hard? You made him do too much?
He has had a very productive 5 years with the series, and we are very sad to see him go. But
So am I. I like the guy. Do you see him every day?
yes.
Tell him I'm looking for him. I want to have lunch with him. But I've got some questions I don't think you want me to ask here. But there's a great staff there. How hard has it been for you to build the IndyCar Nation? Because they didn't have anywhere near what you offer now as a member.
That's a great question. I think that we've worked really hard. There's been a couple iterations of the group, from crew to downforce to IndyCar Nation, and I think part of it was getting the community back together again and showing people that there is a lot of value that we provide over the course of the season. And then also just investing a little bit of time into our partners at the track and in each community we visit. We've doubled experiences and the value since I came on board since 2016. So we had over 5,000 experiences that were given away this year at each track. It's over $1 million worth of value in between the tours and green flag waving, 2-seater rides, hot lap rides, autograph fast passes. So it's really digging into the fun part of, not the racing part, which is the most fun part, but sort of the experiential part and the party part of being at a racetrack, and finding fun ways to get fans a little more access and behind the scenes, and to get families involved and young kids involved again. And that was a big part of it, showing people that there is a lot of value there.
Do you have a problem now when you come to somebody, you got an idea? Let's have an ice cream parlor session. I just made that up. When you approach people, they say, "That's a good idea. We ought to get involved and provide ice cream," whatever, you know. In other words, you know, you got the Indy racing experience. You get a ride in there. You talk to Paul Blevins. He'll let you climb up and wave a flag. You can get, I think, pace car rides. You bring drivers in to chat, Q&A sessions, and sign autographs and so forth. Do you have a problem? For instance, are the drivers, well, sure, I'll come over.
Scheduling can be tough with the drivers, but everybody is sort of in this together, and drivers want to meet fans and want to do the most that they can to show the experience that you can get at a racetrack each weekend, and they have been really awesome to work with. And we love hearing from fans too. If there's something that you guys want to see as part of our experience list, I give out my cell phone and email to everybody. I love hearing from fans what they want to see at a racetrack. So we've added a lot of things this year that we've heard from fans that they want to see.
I can just see how excited you'd be. You're on the 17th hole with a 6-footer to beat your husband, and the damn phone rings. Sure. What aside from the obvious, the two-seater waving the flag, the pace car rides, and the Q&A, what else do you get when you join?
Well, everybody gets a membership kit, so I brought a couple tchotchkes from our 2018 kit. If anybody didn't get one, they're right up at this front table here. So anybody can grab one right there. You get discounts from a lot of our partners, 15% off of all IndyCar and IMS merchandise, 15% off racing electronic equipment, 50% off the Indy racing experience, and those...
Just one. All for her. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So there's a lot of discounts you get, a lot of benefits, and there's special things that happen at each track. If it's a happy hour or a tour of a local company, or VIP tickets to Rally at the Ranch at Mid-Ohio, wine tasting and a party at Sonoma. We had tickets to the Born Racer premiere a couple weeks ago.
Where do you see that now? I wasn't invited, of course. Smart move. But where can you see the Born to Race now?
That is on Amazon. You can stream it live right now.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I'm on Amazon Prime. You mean I could get it?
I believe you have to rent it for right now.
I don't want to take it home with me, but...
Well, you can rent the live stream.
Okay. How many members do you have now?
We
totally.
have probably over, let's see, I think we're closing in on 315,000.
Huh?
We had a major growth this year. I know we heard some frustrations with it, and there was a work in progress, but we got a lot of new eyeballs through our sign-in race control system this year. So I'm not sure if a lot of you guys have tested that out, but it's a sign-in process this year for racecontrol.com, and we got a ton of new members that way. So we're closing in on 315,000.
Jeez, I don't know that many people. Where do most of your members come from? Are they from all over the country?
They're from all over. We have, of course, a huge presence here in Indy, but in every race market that we go to, we get new members and new fans. So it's been really exciting to get some new tracks on the schedule, and hear the excitement from people this year in Portland saying that they've been waiting for so long to get a race back in town, and to hear the excitement from people in each market has been really fun.
I can't wait till they get to the oval up there. That'll be good. It just interests me, the club. And every week I didn't mention it tonight because you're here about, joining. And then somebody said, I put in DONK, it didn't work. No kidding. so I had to spell it. And people were impressed I could spell. That was pretty good. But I heard from a number of them said, we joined. It was a good thing. I'm glad you mentioned it, blah, blah, blah. But are you looking to add, and have you got anything in mind that somebody said, hey, we want to be part of your thing and you can come do track promoters welcome you, say, oh, yeah, come on, take a tour of this or do that? Or
Oh, absolutely. We get discounts through the track. I mean, IndyCar Nation, they're the most dedicated fans, most passionate, most engaged. We have, through our discounts with tracks promoters and partners like Racer Magazine, it is always one of the highest engagements they see in any audience. So for promotions, we just did one recently with Racer Magazine. 75% of their sales came from IndyCar Nation.
I didn't know that many people could read. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I know I have to get, the touch and feel. I can't read it, but I get their stuff, and it's a great magazine. They have a lot of good stories. And you send out your insider. Now, the last I heard, you do that.
I have a lot of help from the digital team.
I see. So you're really not you're just a driving force.
Yes.
How many hours a week do you spend doing this? And I know it's a whole lot more than 40.
It is. I think racing, everybody is sort of all in all the time. It's 24/7, especially with our travel schedule, and with talking with fans and promoters. And it's not just being in the office. It's immersing yourself in the sport and being available and having your ears open to what's going on.
It's too bad your season ends and now your husband's is just getting started.
Yes, we're in a very busy season right now. I've got a little boy on the way too. A newest member of the IndyCar Nation is coming in just about a week. So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't pay any attention. That shows how smart I am, isn't it? Don't say anything. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
When the hell did you have? No, I don't want to know. What's his name? Jim Sauter. You ever heard of Jim Sauter?
Mm-mm.
He's he drove in NASCAR way early on, and he, with Dick Trickle, used to run locally. They'd run 6-7 nights a week. He had 11 kids. I said, "How in the world did you do that?" He said, "While we're doing laundry." Oh, okay. So I guess it can happen, right, Carl? Me too. Have you got your schedule set for next year? Before that, are you going to have your insider come out all year in the off season, continue it on?
We'll have our regular Wednesday emails, which everybody should be getting no matter what level of membership that you guys are signed up for. The Tuesday emails, which go to our paid membership, they slow down a little bit, and we'll probably go to about once a month. We'll have some off-season experiences, the Born Racer premiere I just talked about. We'll have some guests at the Borg Warner unveiling in December. So we'll have some off-season experiences that we'll be offering. So some select emails, probably about once a month, will go out on Tuesdays to the paid members.
Huh. Means I got to join.
You have to join at the champion or legend level.
Oh.
Champion is $35 and legend is $100. And it lasts through the whole year, so you can sign up now and be a member through December 31st of 2019. So like I said before in the beginning, you get over $1 million worth of value over the course of the season. So it is a lot of bang for your buck.
Did you hear that? You got part of $1 million. Aren't you proud? Martha said, I wish you'd have got the money instead. Oh, boy.
We have a couple memberships here to give away tonight.
Where did you get that idea?
Somebody very smart.
Well, no, it was me. I said, what? Can you do that? And you said, sure. So we have a couple of championship members.
Yep. So we have a winner's choice tonight. Anybody who's here can either win 2 champion level memberships or 1 legend level membership, and we'll do the same for anybody listening online.
All right, if you're online, the first 1 or 2, whatever you choose, to email her when she opens her email up tomorrow. I hope that your computer hits the floor. It's so full.
I hope so too.
But and what's your email address?
IndyCarNation@indycar.com.
How much did you pay for that? Wow, that was. IndyCarNation at IndyCar.com. If you're interested, send her an email and she'll pick out the first one to respond, and you'll get your choice of 2 or 1, whichever one you want.
Yep.
And the same with some lucky folk here.
Same with everybody here tonight.
Oh my goodness, how exciting! That's great. How were the golfers to deal with? Were they readily available? Not a problem. I mean, Tiger said, "Sure, what do you need?"
He was a little harder to deal with.
Oh,
Most of the guys were pretty good.
well. How are the race drivers in compared to professional golfers or wrestlers for that matter? I want to know, how were the wrestlers to approach?
The wrestlers were a lot easier because everybody was in-house. So there's some layers removed from there in terms of team owners and PR folks. And so the wrestlers, you'd say, I need you here at 9:30. They'd get there at 9:30. We're a little more technical in IndyCar because they have so many meetings and a lot of business to take care of at the track all the time.
They do.
So.
Yeah, they got to get
Yeah.
to the motorhome and take care of the kid. And yeah, I understand. Were you a race fan before you came here? Before your husband got transferred here, were you a race fan? No.
Nope.
Have you ever been to one?
Never been to a race before. I have
Wow.
learned a ton, mostly from our members, and there's a couple of them here tonight. So that's been a big learning process for me, which has been really, really fun.
Now you see Howdy Belsi, a Hall of Famer, I might add. You know Howdy?
How you doing?
Look up. Oh. It just amazes me. I was a little bit involved with the crew when it first started, and I wasn't pleased because they'd go to race and didn't do anything. Now you guys do. When you get there, don't you have gatherings at some pub or some other place?
Yeah, absolutely. We try and have happy hours at every race. We try and have each activity that the track has going on. We try and get involved with that. So if they have a selfie station like they did at Pocono this year, members are invited to join that. For St. Pete, we got a jump the line pass for the exclusive Elio Castroneves Q&A. So we try and have member gatherings at each track that we go to. We try and have exclusive experiences at each race that we're at, along with our standard offerings for each week.
I ought to join.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And you get a $5 discount if you use Don K5.
oh boy. I wouldn't want to be associated with that name. This can be kind of a silly question, but is this more challenging than what you've done in the past with event planning, or is this easier?
A little bit of both. It's a really fun challenge. Like I said, there's a lot to learn, but it's been really rewarding to bring together a whole bunch of different groups, from people who used to be part of crew and downforce to new members, and learning the sport and hearing what people want to do when they're at the track each weekend. So it's been fun to learn all of that and hear the feedback from members. And I think that's been the most rewarding part is making friends and being a part of this community.
Now, I was disappointed, as I said, when I looked out, I didn't see you because you are known for a straw hat.
Yes, I should have worn it tonight for sure.
And I put on there, if you don't know who the young lady is, look for a redhead with a straw hat. That's her.
That's what I say in all my emails for all the new members who don't know where to find me. You'll see me running around the track all weekend in my big hat.
And I understand that they had made them available
Yes.
to the public.
Finally, I had to make my own for the first season, and then so many people requested it that we got one made.
See, you can go get your own, and then you can run around and say, I'm her. Oh, really? Huh. Very interesting. I think what you've done with the club is phenomenal. I know the effort that you put into it is phenomenal. I applaud you for always leaving on a Tuesday to go to a race. You want to be there with your golf clubs, I might add.
There are a lot of great golf courses around tracks. Actually, we have a good group going that everybody brings their clubs to
Well, that's
with
good.
them. So
That's good. Get wound up for the race weekend. Are you now a race fan?
absolutely.
What's the best to you? What, coming from professional golf, God knows wrestling, now to motorsports, What's the best part of being involved with racing, or with the sport in general, but racing in particular?
Well, I think the best part about being a part of this sport that I have not seen anywhere else is the access that you can get. The approachability of drivers and how open the paddock is, how much you can learn on any given weekend. There is so much going on at an IndyCar race, and you can really feel like you're a part of the action. And I don't think you get that at any other sport.
What about the Road to Indy program? Do you bring any of those drivers up when you're doing interviews or Q&As with IndyCar drivers? You bring them along as well, so people know who they are?
Yeah, absolutely. And so they know who we are too, so that
that's the other thing.
that when they get, big and up in the ranks, that they know we gave them a chance too. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of member input this year from some members who have podcasts or blogs, social media followings. We had in the garage this year, the IndyCar Nation member garage at IMS, we had Fast Cars, Fast Girls doing live broadcasts.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so they brought in a lot of the Road to Indy drivers, and it was fun to hear from them. We had live content in the IndyCar Nation garage every day through them, so that was really fun.
And they were fast. I tried to catch them. I couldn't. They were quick.
They're awesome. They went to a ton of races this year, so it was really fun to have to hear their voice at a bunch of different races this season, and to have them interview up and coming drivers, very established drivers, and also to get sort of that behind the scenes access. They did interviews with track executives, with safety team, with some IndyCar executives. It was really fun to have that member input this season.
You get to talk to the series executives.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your secret? I got an idea. She got a better smile than I do. That'll do it. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. You got a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden you will multiply?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Well, thank you for coming on this short notice type of deal, because I just got a hold of you, Sunday, and you answered me. I was kind of surprised. I thought you'd been out playing golf or something, but you answered right away.
Always working. Always want to hear from everybody at IndyCar.
Well, we'll see who wants to get a pair or a single membership. Come up. I was going to see if they have any tickets that you split out and pass them out, and I forgot to ask. Do you have those back there, by the way? Do you have those tickets that you tear in half? Hello? Oh, okay. Yes. Do you have some? Oh, boy.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry? I did salute. By the way, for those of you who don't know, we have an executive with us now. She used to be just Miss Waitress. She's now manager. And when she walked into the building today, I saluted her. And she said I don't have to call her general or anything. Just. Well, thanks for being here. Can you stick around for a couple minutes, or you can leave that?
Yeah, I'll be here for a couple minutes. Thank you for having me on tonight. We're really excited about the 2019 season and providing even more access to the sport. And like I said, everybody should have a fun email in their inbox today about how you can get involved with IndyCar Nation. You can always check us out at IndyCarNation.com. And if there's stuff that you want to see happen in the program, you can always email me.
Or you can call her. I don't know her number, but you can call her. Thanks for being here, and good luck. And listen, if you need any help with your new arrival, Jason Penix is really up to speed. He'll help you out.
I've had a lot of volunteers. I'm signing up all the members for babysitting shift because we're going to have a little boy joining us on the road next year. So
Really? Oh, boy, we won't see you in that hat around quite as much then, I trust.
No, just stick him in a little backpack, right, and running him around with those little headphones on.
Oh, boy. All right, thanks for being here. And if you haven't joined IndyCar Nation, I highly recommend it. It's a great organization. A lot of interesting things to do, a lot of things that when you get to the racetrack, you say, gee, what do I do now? Go down there. They got all kinds of stuff going on. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Riley McCarthy. He is executive with the IndyCar Nation. Next week we will be here. I have some, if nothing gets in the way, I'll be there. So when they find out who doesn't have anything in the way, I'll tell you. you can go to my website, autosportradio.com, and click onto the Autosport Show, and it'll show you who the guests are. If you're on my Facebook thing, you'll get that, or if you're on the Autosport Show Facebook page, you'll find it there. How many people got messages from people that said, I'm being hacked, if you get a friendship from me, I don't know what, and they all send the same thing. Put your finger on this message and it'll change. It doesn't do anything. Maybe it's the wrong finger, I don't know. But I got all kinds of them saying, I've been hacked, if you get a request, don't do it, don't. I never got any requests from anybody that I'm aware of. I don't look at them anyway. Anyway, we'll be here next week. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you're watching and you would like to get a membership, your choice between 2 champion or 1 legend, go to IndyCar Nation at IndyCar.com. The first one's in there. She'll look it up and become a member, and you'll be glad you did. Trust me. Thanks. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. Again, the guests, we'll find them. I've got a bunch of people out looking, and I'm getting, if we don't have to do this, that, as usual. So we'll be here next week. Until then, I want to say it's nice to see Marty, except she's yawning now. Are you up a little late? Is this a little late for you? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry? Oh, DB will be here. That's good. That'll be 2 of us. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Good night.
Thanks very much.
DB, do they have raffle tickets here? If anybody is interested, stick around. We'll pass the tickets out real quick.